Hey guys, welcome back. We are talking about SEL growth in your students. Their social emotional learning. How have they grown this year? Some of your students probably have grown a ton. Others you may have seen like little sparks here and there and how they've grown. And so today, this is what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to share some of our students and their growth. And I am looking forward to sharing that with you today. Welcome to Behavior Strategies for Class. I am Diane Bachman, your behavior paraprofessional with over 15 years of experience working in special education. And I'm so glad you're here because I'll be teaching you about social emotional learning, behavior strategies, trauma-informed care, and more. So if you are tired of being frustrated and not knowing what to do with your students who have challenging and disruptive behavior, you're in the right place. Now, if you're ready to become more equipped to help your students learn and grow, let's listen in to today's episode. So before we get started, again, I want to encourage you to leave a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Give the show a rating so that others can see that they can learn and grow here as well. And hit that subscribe button and don't miss a thing. So today I want to talk about a few of our students who I have seen growth this year. And one of our students came later in the year. So to see their growth is amazing. And not that she still didn't have, some behaviors, but for the most part, she was happy to be back in class, to be with her peers and doing what they were doing, but definitely still had some self-control, with kid stuff, right? The pushing, the hitting, cutting in line, all of that fun stuff. And so we would just kind of remove, reset, and then usually she would be okay to head back to class. So that was definitely an improvement where she was learning how to control her body, control her words, and it was fun to see her excitement to be with her peers. One of our other students who before he came to us was barely in gen ed class. Like his behaviors were not horrible, but he just refusal. Like he's not going to gen ed class. And granted, we got a lot more of that near the end of the year because, of course, everybody's done. Nobody wants to work. It's the end of the year. I'm done. I'm tired. I don't like school, all of that fun stuff. But for the most part, like he was in class 90% of the time, all year. His improvements were so great in staying in class, advocating for himself, using kind words for the most part with his peers, not being able to lash out at them, knowing that he can speak in a regular voice and still be heard that way. And then we have another student who always eloped. And granted, he was still eloping, but really just going outside of the class. And that was an improvement. Thankfully, he never ran out of the building, but still, running somewhere in the building, there's always fun places to hide. And so we did not have to deal with that much at all this year. And so again, they're learning to advocate for themselves. I need a break. Can I have a fidget? And again, learning to control their bodies and not lash out at their peers because they looked at them funny, or maybe their peers cut in front of them, to not always know that they need to lash out physically, to get themselves heard and to know that they were not okay with that. And it was also teaching the gen ed students too, like you can tell our students like, if they're bothering you or if they're in your space or if they took something from yours. That's all you need to say is, hey, can I have that back? Like, that's not yours. Can I have it back? Or please don't hit me. Or, can you please scoot over a little bit? They had to learn how to talk to our students as well and not be afraid that they're going to have repercussions either. And so it really was kind of a give and take because most of the gen ed students are great with our students in the program. They're very patient with them. But at times, like they tell them too, like, you need to stop. You're in my space, or, and so them learning that they can advocate for themselves was great to watch as well. And so those are some of the things and some of the ways that our students have grown in definitely being self advocates, in learning to control their bodies, keeping to themselves, controlling their words, and the tone of their voice when they speak. And so that was super exciting to see that. And then also they're learning, like they may be told no. So even if they're raising their hand and when they're in class, they're waiting on the teacher, sometimes they may not be called, even though they do the right thing. And so that was another teaching moments to remind them, like, even though you're doing the right thing, like now may not be the time that they pick on you, or pick you, to answer the question or whatever it was. And most of the teachers were really patient with our students when they did get upset, when they didn't get called, or when they didn't earn that award, and reminding them, like, I will catch you doing something great. And just because I didn't call on you now doesn't mean, you don't have the right answer or you're not doing the right thing. There's obviously time, space in which you have to teach certain subjects. And so you can't answer every single person, obviously, in your class at that certain time. And so they have to learn those boundaries as well. And that's a social thing for sure, because obviously, as they grow older and get in all their other classes, they have to learn they have to be patient. They are not always going to be the number one person to get called on. And so it was great to see that growth. I mean, definitely there were frustrations. There still will be frustrations. But for the most part, being able to have them express how they're feeling, what they need. Sometimes it's what they want, just being able to give them that voice and a choice when we can just really validates who they are and what they bring, to their classmates. And so that is super exciting. So I would encourage you, think about your students. How have they grown? Is it socially in the way they interact with each other? Are they using the right language? Are they encouraging each other? Are they asking questions? When they don't understand and their classmates do something, it's okay to ask, like, why did you do that? Or what was that for? Or, whatever it is, being able to ask questions and not be afraid to ask those questions. Definitely controlling their body. That's a big one, and they will continue to learn controlling their body in the way they react or interact with their classmates. And, you can be frustrated, you can be mad, but it's not okay to turn around and punch Johnny in the face or slap Susie or kick whoever is closest to you or throw stuff. Our kids definitely love throwing things. Thankfully, they did hit some other students every once in a while. So it's reminding them again, like, that's still not a safe choice. Like, you're upset and that's fine, but you can't lash out and affect the other students in your class. Like, that's not okay. It was also great to see our students helping other students, whereas Gen Ed would always come and help our students when they couldn't find something or they were in the wrong book or whatever it was. but to see that they can in turn help whoever it is at their table. And so sometimes it was a reminder for me not to jump in right away and be like, oh, wait, you need this, or oh, wait, can you help? And always asking them, but to know that they can take the initiative and see their classmate is struggling in whatever it was and be able to turn and help them without sounding arrogant, I guess. Because some of our students definitely, would have the right answer and try and help, and then just kind of like, well, how in the heck did you not know that answer? Like, that's so easy and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Like, guys, just help them. You don't have to give them a commentary of what you think. So definitely, social emotional learning is something that is ongoing. Like, it's definitely not a one and done like any other behavior strategies. It's a constant reminder, it's consistency. It's showing them how they continue to grow and learn in all areas of school, because school is definitely a very social area, and they are going to be around social activities and events like the rest of their life. And so we want to help give them those tools and help lay that foundation, especially at the elementary level, so that when they get to middle school and high school, they're going to be a little more comfortable in their own skin, and they're going to be able to hopefully navigate a little bit better those social awkwardness that they go through too, especially in middle school. So definitely continuing to teach social emotional learning as a whole with your students on academics as well is huge, because sometimes students struggle with growing, letting go of behaviors that serve them. And so, like, one of our students, she was a struggle all year, and we were constantly teaching and reteaching and teaching and reteaching. And so saying that some of them, like, she had a hard time letting go of certain behaviors because it served her. Like, she got what she was going for. The function of that behavior she received. So for her to see, I need to change it, she had no buy-in for change because she was still getting what she needed with this other behavior. And so sometimes, again, we can teach and show them that there is a better way. There is another way you could have handled a situation or talk to your peers. But sometimes, like, they don't want to accept it. They're still getting what they need, what they want with this other behavior. And honestly, sometimes it goes even deeper. Like, there's other things going on, and that takes a lot more. And obviously, that's not why they're in school. Like, we want to help them as much as possible and show them what they can do, give them the tools, but they still have to be the one to pick up those tools and use them. So, and not to say that we don't try, obviously, in teaching them their behaviors and their social emotional, how they interact, how they feel, how they're advocating, because we still want to keep teaching it, whether or not they pick up those tools and use them. Obviously that's going to have to be their decision. But our job, again, is to keep teaching them that, and to know that you are doing all that you can. And you could love on a kid, you can be there for that kid, you can encourage that student, but sometimes they have too many walls up that you're just not getting through. But that's okay, because they still see it. They still feel it. So it is not lost, even though you do not see any don't want to say profit, but you know what I mean, any feedback from her or him in how they are behaving or how they are learning. And so, an encouragement that you guys have done great this year, and to look back on your students and see the growth that they have done socially and emotionally. You know, you may have had one student who came in crying like every single day, and by mid-year, they were only crying half the time. And then hopefully by the end of the year, there was no more crying. You know, those are growths and those are wins. So count them all, because you deserve it. You put in the work. You showed up every day. So hopefully soon you will be on break and you will be enjoying your summer and the warmth and the quietness that it can bring. And again, look back at your students. Look at the growth. Celebrate that growth. You deserve it. Thanks so much for listening. I truly appreciate your support. And if I have encouraged you, motivated you to continue to learn, to support your students, even better, to help them strive in your classroom, please leave a review, hit that subscribe button so that others can see they can learn and grow here as well. Thank you.